Is the new TRD Tacoma a get it or skip it vehicle? We're showcasing the 2025 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport in wind chill pearl, up to 11 inches of clearance. Going into the TRD Sport, you have two different power options, which we have the iForce Max. That's going to increase horsepower by 48 and 148 pound-feet of torque more. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm gonna go over some pros and cons, compare this against the competition to see if it is a get it or skip it vehicle. In the front, LED headlights, daytime runnings, LED fog lights, the Heritage grille, and the Renegade LED fog lights. You can only get that on the Trail Hunter, which will start off of reasons why I would skip it, because you're already around 55 grand and you can't get these features. Plus, you can only option this as a 5-foot bed when you go into the iForce Max. But then on the Pro, you're getting so much more power, and underneath the hood, you get the 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder iForce Max turbocharged hybrid combined with 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive with an electronically controlled transfer case, upgraded suspension with 18-inch TRD wheels, but no running boards. And when you're looking, this is a tall vehicle. It's actually taller than me. I'm at 6'3". Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, so I like that they have incorporated the upgraded safety from Toyota. That includes the pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, proactive driving assist, lane departure alert with steering assist, automatic high beams, road sign assist, and full speed range dynamic radar cruise control. But yet again, it's gonna lead me to another reason why I would skip it, because when you go into GMC or Chevy, they're going to have more towing, more payload capabilities. You have a diesel option also. Going into Ford, it's going to still have more towing capabilities than this, and the price tag can be a little bit less because the Tacoma has increased in price, leaving the sweet spot with the TRD pre-runner, which will give you a 6-foot bed, but unfortunately, you can't get the 5-foot bed. So it makes it kind of tricky which trim you pick between the 8 different variants, because each one of them is going to miss some opportunity, meaning a 5-foot bed or a 6-foot bed configuration, more powerful engine or a less powerful engine. And going to the TRD Pro, 5-foot bed for a double cab, but you'll have a standard electronically controlled locking rear differential, stabilizer disconnect, ARB steel rear bumpers with the recovery hooks. They're painted in red. It also gives you the multi-terrain, which here you only get 3 driving modes, which the multi-terrain gives you a crawl control and downhill control assist. So this is really going to be a little bit of aesthetics. It's still picked up. It's still got the performance with the reverse camera and no LED taillights for the TRD Sport, which leads me to the problem. It's similar to the Tundra. When they did the refresh for that vehicle, it increased a lot. More than 10%, more than 12% on payload, on performance numbers, on towing capabilities, but it's still not the best in class. So would you go into the new Tacoma and get this iForce Max hybrid turbo blend that gives you a lot of power? Or would you go into a regular TRD Sport and decrease the power, or go into the competition? Drop a comment and let us know. Soft to open with a length of 60.3 inches, a depth at 21.2 inches. Between the wheel well housing at 53 inches. The width at 44.7, and check out your charging. Home plug, 12 volt, and a storage box with LED lighting, the Tacoma badging, and to make it easier to get inside, you got a step that is right here. But this is the iForce Max. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. The key fob to the Tacoma TRD Sport. Manual seat adjustments, we do have lumbar support, that's power for the driver. Cloth bucket seats. Heated seats is an option, as well as soft tech seats. You can also option ventilated front seats. And you're gonna notice last year's refresh just converted this whole vehicle, giving us storage on the passenger side, the Tacoma badging. 6 speakers is standard, even when you're optioning this large 14-inch infotainment screen, but you can option it with the JBL sound system. Let's fire it up. The dashboard is going to be more or less flat. I like the bulge on the hood. 14-inch screen, it's huge. Kind of wish it was more configured into the dashboard or maybe lowered, because it does kind of give a little bit of an eyesore. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot. With the reverse camera, the trajectory will expand, and you can change different camera layouts to make it a little bit easier for the reversing. Climate control with an option for a dual climate control setting. Wireless charging pad starts standard on a limited trim. You have two USB-C ports with a 12-volt, another storage here, and the grab handle. I like how they have this little hook because you could just run your wires through here so it's more seamless. TRD badging, as well as on the push-button start. Driving mode select with your 4 low and 4 high with a digital gauge reader, and you have a total of 3 different driving modes. So you have Eco, Normal, and Sport. And it can go through an array of different content for the driver, including changing out all the settings here. So right now we have the pinch and roll. You can just simply change all that on each bank. So it'll be a little bit more custom. Leather wrap steering wheel, multi-function. Check out the leg space that you have. And the headroom, more than enough. Digital rear view mirror you can option, as well as a sliding rear for the back. Door panel and dash configured together nicely. And you have area here, so it's similar to the Tundra. If you're tall like me, you can use it for an armrest. Or you can just simply use this. It's going to be a little bit more soft here. TRD badging, and I like the grip that goes on the grab handle. 2 tiers of storage with about 3 cup or bottle holders carved out. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have, and I wish we had running boards. It would make it a little bit easier. The door gets the TRD. It's going to be more sporty, and you get about 2 to 3 cup or bottle holders. But the nice thing here is you can split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split. So you'll actually have some storage behind it, and you can fit stuff on top, making it where you don't have to rely on the bed as much. Grab handle here to make it a little bit easier for me to just jump in. Leg space, not going to be too bad. Headroom, it's actually pretty good. Sliding into the center, it's going to be tight. Got a big hump, this seat is pushed back. So if you're 6'3", just sit onto the sides. But you have some cup holders here, 2 USB-C ports, and a home plug with storage only behind the passenger seat. The iForce Max TRD Sport, 48 horsepower more. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 148 pound-feet of torque more, that's a crazy amount. I mean, 326 horsepower is the combined for this turbocharged hybrid engine with 465 pound-feet of torque. Now, we have driven the non-hybrid that has the 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. I thought it was sufficient, but we're gonna see what the major difference is and if it is a get it or skip it vehicle with up to 11 inches of clearance. I'm not a huge fan of that front part because it does lower, so it doesn't really feel like you're gonna have that much clearance. Let's give her a go. It sets up high. It has a ton of power. You can feel it whenever you're just touching the pedal. I'm not even mashing on it. So I do like how it doesn't feel heavy, and I like how I sit up, but I don't quite sit up like a Tundra. So it does have its own unique feel, which I applaud Toyota for doing that, because if they would have made it feel a different way, then there'd be no point to go into the Tundra. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is the power that you get, but on the con to it, you're actually losing 400 pounds of towing capabilities, but you are increasing on the Pro 50 pounds for a payload. So it just depends on what you're really after there. Going this trim, you're gonna have some more charging ports. Unfortunately, you still don't have a wireless charger, and this is at $55,000 nearly. This large screen, it's awesome. It just kind of sticks out a little bit more so. It's definitely a distraction because of how big it is. And going against the V6 that it replaced, I mean, a con to me, it's only getting about 2 to 4 mpgs more than that variant. And towing, actually, you lose 500 pounds, and you're actually going to lose almost 100 pounds payload going to this engine. Now, the pro is it's going to be quicker, but most people that want pickup trucks, they want the capabilities. I'm not a big fan of having to add the Softtech leatherette seating or the heated ventilated seats. Adding all these features up is going to escalate the price into the 60 grand very quickly. And even adding this 14-inch screen, you can either just get the screen with the 6 speakers or you can get the JBL sound system. Make it a little bit easier. I mean, you already have 8 different configurations, plus you can only get a 5-foot bed with this engine. Maneuverability is great, and braking doesn't feel heavy at all. You could stop on a dime with this vehicle. So the braking, the acceleration, and the actual drive is a lot more smooth. It's a lot more quiet in the interior, but the turn radius, is it better than last year? Almost 4 lanes. Let's rock and roll. I mean, it's a lot quicker, a lot more exhaust note that filters in. And when I'm going against competition like Ford, this is actually going to be smoother. Going against Chevy and GMC, I feel they're pretty smooth. They got more capabilities, and you have a lot of different engine options. But this can be so quiet because it's a hybrid slash turbo. So I like that you're getting that capability mixed. But then a reason why I would skip it is it doesn't do much more than the V6 variant that we lost. And comparing it against the Tundra, obviously you're going to have a lot more towing capabilities because that max is around 12,000 pounds with the payload that max is at 1,940 pounds. But when I start ticking the box to these features and I'm at 55 grandish, maybe you want to entertain the Tundra because you're getting almost the same MPGs as this. You actually get the same city MPGs. You're only going to lose 4 MPGs to the highway going this route. So is it a get it vehicle? For those reasons, I would skip it. But the reason why I would get it is because you have a lot of power. They did do a great job with cleaning up the interior sound deadening, the soft drive. So for the everyday use, this is definitely a huge transformation compared to the prior gen. It feels more athletic and off-roadsy. And if you go up into the TRD Pro, you basically unlock everything you need to go on those trails and do more off-road capabilities like rock crawling. But ultimately, the problem comes back into place because of so many different options, so many different trims. You can only get certain beds on certain engines, plus certain trims that you pick. And if you don't go up to these certain trims, you won't be able to unlock the capabilities or the potential of the Tacoma. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, membership, live streams, website, merchandise, TikTok, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Gettle Stadium Toyota for giving us this 2025 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport for our car review. It's definitely quick enough. Capabilities is pretty good, but at $55,000, I mean, it's hard for me to swallow the pricing because I'm at Tundra money, and the Tundra has more capabilities than this. But the pro going here is it's so smooth, it's not too overly big, it sits up just enough so it doesn't quite feel as big as the numbers project, making it an easier drive for that day in and day out use. Maneuverability, the steering is light. Mashing on the gas, not a problem. Mashing on the brake, it's smooth. They did a great job, but Toyota sometimes just does enough where they need to do the full capabilities. Because they either give you performance, or they give you suspension, or they give you off-road suspension. They just don't lock all of these attributes in one to make an awesome vehicle. They give you 8 different trims to figure it out for yourself.